Hi class, it's Dr. Miller. We are now in week 4. My usual reminder, if you're missing any work from weeks 1, 2, or 3, submit it ASAP. I want you to be successful. I want you to be thinking about why you chose to go back to school. What are your academic goals? What are your career goals? Each of these assignments is important to you achieving those goals. So if you're missing any work, weeks 1, 2, or 3, ASAP. Submit those today, submit them tomorrow. If you have any questions, reach out to me. If you're not doing it because you're not sure what to do, reach out to me and I can answer those questions for you. Your work from week 3 will be graded no later than Thursday. But let's talk about week 4. Again, in week 4, you have five assignments to complete. I've got the week 4 folder open here so you can see the assignments for this week. You start with your Connect assignments. We'll go ahead and open that. You have two Connect assignments. You have your coding practices, reading and questions to answer, and then you have a quiz. You have to complete each of these in their entirety for that grade to come over. So you can't, no partial grades on Connect. So make sure you work your way all the way through each of the Connect assignments. Back to your other assignments. Your week 4 discussion. You learned about capitation payments and the fact that they are usually fixed rates to primary care physicians that they receive on a monthly basis for each contracted member. We tend to use the words per member per month for capitation payments, PMPM. That relates to each member for the monthly payment. Discuss whether it would be more desirable for the physician to have a capitated member who is a healthy 60-year-old male who rarely seeks medical treatment, or a 24-year-old female patient with poorly controlled juvenile onset diabetes. And then explain the rationale of your decision. Remember to meet the length requirement. I want some detail in there. Right? Fully explain your rationale to me. Also remember, submit early in the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, so that you've got enough time to participate over 3 days and respond to 3 of your classmates. Then, your other 2 assignments. Next, you have your coding scenarios. And for this one, here is the document that you can download. I do have it open. Let's take a look at it here. This particular assignment, 15% of your overall grade. You're going to take a look at these different scenarios for patient services and then determine not necessarily the codes, but what verbiage would you pull out of this note to be coded, right? So in this assignment, you're going to review the coding scenarios and identify diagnoses, procedures, and or services. You're not required to assign the codes, only identify what should be coded. So here's an example. The patient presents to the endocrinology clinic for further evaluation of elevated blood glucose levels. While at the clinic, the patient receives an oral glucose tolerance test. Based upon the history of elevated blood glucose levels and the result of the OGTT, the physician diagnoses the patient with type 2 diabetes mellitus. So here we're going to identify the diagnosis, and then we've got a rationale for the diagnosis. Although the patient was brought in to the clinic due to the elevated blood glucose levels, the definitive diagnosis or the cause of the elevated blood glucose levels was found to be type 2 DM. And then the service was a lab, the OGTT. Right? So then you'll go through, you have 8 different patient scenarios to take a look at. Starting with patient presents to the emergency room by ambulance after suffering a grand mal seizure at home. The patient was stabilized and discharged home from the emergency room. So you're going to identify what would we code as the diagnosis and what would we code as the service. Not the actual code, but what would we base our coding on, right? And then you have your grading rubric down there. Some of them do require a rationale. Some of these don't. So 1, no rationale. 2, no rationale. Number 3, your grade will include a rationale. So you got a diagnosis and the rationale. Same with number 6. Okay. So it's only a couple that have a rationale. The rest of them, just fill in the blanks. Okay, so that is the coding scenarios. Then we have your next piece of your portfolio project, and you're going to be focusing on the revenue cycle. And this one, I want you to have fun with it. So we're going to pull this up. Here's week 4. As you learned in the previous lectures, many processes comprise the revenue cycle. To fully comprehend how billing insurance play a role in reimbursement, it is important to understand all the steps in the revenue cycle. For this assignment, you will create an infographic. So think of an infographic like a visual, like a poster or a graph that is created that they put into your e-textbook, right? Some way to visually see something. So you're going to create an infographic depicting the revenue cycle processes from beginning to end, including the steps taken before the encounter, during the encounter, and after the encounter. You can use PowerPoint or Canva. Personally, I like PowerPoint to make infographics, to create a flow chart, swim lanes, process cycles, or any tool you feel would best represent your depiction of the revenue cycle. I will also post in the announcement a video on how to create an infographic. So you can take a look at that too. Below your diagram, provide a brief description in words of what occurs in each process you included. Your newly hired billing specialist will refer to this document to ensure claims follow the proper channels, which increases the likelihood of accurate and timely reimbursement. Use what you have learned in the lecture and incorporate at least one reference as you complete this portion of the portfolio project. You will find most of the information that you need in the readings, the Connect readings from weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So, got some work to do this week. I hope you enjoy it. Have some fun. And I'll be seeing you in the discussion. All right. Have a great week.